Okay, hi, my name is Chelsea Brown, and this is my brief overview discussion board of the Marbury versus Madison case. So in Marbury versus Madison, Marbury was appointed to the position of Justice of Peace by John Adams. So during John Adams' term, right before it had finished, he appointed a ton of different judges in hopes that they would be beneficial to him once he ended the term. However, after his term, Thomas Jefferson took office and stated he did not want Federalist judges on his court, and he requested James Madison did not proceed with the commissions. So prior to that, Marbury petitioned for a writ of mandamus, stating that because Adams signed the commissions, he was required by law to receive them. The court actually labeled this unconstitutional due to the Judiciary Act of 1789, and labeled that the provisions of this act was unconstitutional. So here I have added a comic strip of the basically the most important parts of the case. So in the first clip, we have John Adams and Marbury speaking, where John Adams is telling him that he is appointing judges before his term ends, and Marbury is liking the idea. However, in the second clip, that is where Thomas Jefferson is telling James Madison that he does not want Federalist judges, and he does not want the commissions to be produced amongst them. So James Madison denies all of the commissions. After this, John Marshall, the Chief of Justice, and William Marbury are speaking. This is where Marbury petitions for a writ of mandamus, because the Chief of Justice wants to get him those commissions, but he can't make the he can't make Thomas Jefferson angry. So in the next clip, we see a brief overview of what comes with judiciary review. And this is the Chief of Justice questioning whether there is legal harm by Marbury, if there's a remedy for the law for the legal injuries, and can the Supreme Court do anything? So then in the next clip, the Chief Justice, John Marshall, again states that the Judicial Act of 1789 is constitutional, stating that Thomas Jefferson does not need to give up the commissions because they don't have jurisdiction from the Supreme Court. So then in the last scene, we see John Marshall and John Adams. Basically, John Adams is saying that he failed. But the Chief of Justice says that with judicial review, it's unconstitutional to hand out these commissions. So, how has the government changed from then and now? So, the most major thing in this case is that it created judicial review, which enforced co-equal branches of the government, including legislative, executive, and judicial. And it also makes sure that there are no laws or decisions being passed that are unconstitutional. And they have the power to review laws and statutes coming from congressional laws, state actions, the federal bureaucratic agencies, and even presidential actions. So, an interesting quote that I found from the Chief Justice, John Marshall, stated that a law repugnant to the Constitution is void, and that the courts, as well as other departments, are bound by that instrument. If you didn't know, repugnant means in dislike, so in dislike to the Constitution. And this case is important to today because judicial decisions gained more respect for the laws of the Constitution, and also it established the power of judicial review, making each branch equal. And I also have some pictures of James Madison appointing all of his judges, and then also just a photo that I found saying it is empathetically the province and duty of the judicial department to say what the law is, which is insinuating the new found judicial review. One thing that I would change about this decision for the 21st century is that they have to be able to account these decisions with the Constitution based off of the progressivity of the 21st century and its citizens. They can't take the Constitution in one sense, one small sense, when everything around it is progressing extremely fast. And another quote that I found is that in all other cases before mentioned, the Supreme Court shall have appellate jurisdiction, which basically that means that every case before should have the same review and decision in cases that are the same afterwards. And these are my sources. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm sorry if I talked really fast.